Morning everybody, how's everybody today? It's a brilliant day today. It's always a brilliant day. It's all up here. So my property journey as it continues. I talk about become a skilled negotiator in this today, in this event, and what it takes to become a skilled negotiator. This property in question that actually I bought in 2004, but actually it was the guy next door that owned it, and he phoned me up on a private sale. Private sales, I love private sales and I'll tell you why. Oh, squirrel in the background. He phoned me up on a private sale and said, look, you want to come along and see my flat I've got next door, I'm looking to sell it. You know, I just didn't want any hassle. I just want to get rid of it. Okay, I'll come along. What are you thinking about anyway? So I would always ask them what they're thinking first before I'd even walk out the door. If somebody's got unrealistic expectations, there's no point in wasting your time. Good morning, Andrea. And that's probably one of the lessons I've learned. Find out what they want first before you even venture out the door. Same way looking at it on the internet, you know, find out if there's a deal to be done before you even go to view a property. There's no point spending your time, wasting your time doing that. But that's all about skilled negotiation. And I'll tell you about what skilled negotiation really is. So this property, he came next door to me, morning Louise, came next door to me, and I'm in Silverburn Park actually. And said, look, I'm wanting to sell this. I says, and the first thing is skilled negotiation. So what do you want? What are you wanting from it? And he named me a figure. And I thought, well, that sounds all right to me. So if we can do a deal like that, you know, we've got a deal. Absolutely. And that was a deal. I never tried to knock him down. I didn't see the point because my number still worked at that. And I wanted to get and I got a sterling reputation, and I still have a sterling reputation for buying property. And that's the point. That's what a skilled negotiator does. A skilled negotiator, what they do is they find a point where both parties are happy with the price they want to pay and the price they want to sell. That's what a skilled negotiation is all about. It's not about taking advantage of the other person, bending them over the table and giving it to them. That's not skilled negotiation, and that will come back to haunt you. And people will resent you for that. And that's not a reputation you want to have. Joanna, hi, morning. That's not a reputation you want to have. So it's being a skilled negotiator. And there's loads of books out there on negotiation techniques, and morning, James, and ways to do that. But you can learn off everybody more successful than you anyway. You know, there is people like Richard Branson, Alan Sugar, Ballantyne, all the dragons from the Dragon's Den. You have Tony Robbins. You have loads of people. Now, one thing and caveat is beware of property sourcers. Yes, you can get a property sourcer and they might be a skilled negotiator, but the key here is you've got to make sure they are. And the one I always see in property sourcers is when they say, this property is worth this amount, I can sell it to you for this amount. And you have a great deal because there's money in that deal, but there's probably not really. One of the people who are no longer with us, John Bankhead, who used to work with Shepherds, John was absolutely brilliant, and John used to bring me down to earth straight away when I used to tell him this. This was many years ago when I first started. John used to say to me all the time, property's only worth what somebody's prepared to pay. If somebody's prepared to pay that amount of money, that's what it's worth. That's ultimately it. You know, whatever you say on a valuation, if you put it to the market, then somebody's prepared to pay that, fair enough, that's a valuation. But sometimes there's not somebody out there to pay that money. So therefore, that's not the true value of the property at that point in time. And the key is to find that price point, as I said, in skilled negotiation. And that's what a skilled negotiator does. Now, what we do sometimes for our clients is we will source property. And now I was speaking to a client in Dubai last night, Lucy. Hi, Lucy. And Lucy was talking about sourcing, negotiation, and what was available in the area. And we made the numbers work. And I told her what my fee was for sourcing property for her and finding that out. Morning, Louise. And she thought that was fine, because a true good negotiator will add value to what you're doing. You don't have the time to do it sometimes, so you need somebody to go and do that for you. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're going to fit a kitchen, you get a joiner to do it. You don't try and do it yourself. Well, the majority of people don't. And some people that do just botch it. And then it ends up costing them more money in the long run. And that's my point. That's what a skilled negotiator does. They negotiate a deal so it doesn't cost you more money in the long run. And you come away from the table knowing that you got the right price, and knowing that the buyer got the right price as well. That's it. It is not about taking advantage of the other person. It's about finding the natural price point. Yeah, and back to this property. Well, I've had this property for over 16 years now. I still make money out of it all the time. It's probably about 2.5 times the value it is. There I go, the value it is. But if I put it on the market today, it would probably achieve that 2.5 times what I bought it for. And it's on a fixed rate, base plus 3.3 for life, which is a good deal. And it's capital, not interest only. And I deliberately did that because some of my portfolio is capital repayment, because I do want to pay down some of the debt. Morning, Francis. And it's another investment strategy. Some are long-term interest only, some are capital repayment. It depends on the vehicle I'm using to do that deal at the time. And that is another strategy. It works well. A wee life lesson here before I go, because my time's running out. I'll only look to 10 minutes at the most, because then it gets boring after a while. And this is the key point I've learned for some things. So many people, where am I just now? Look at this, look at this, look at this in the shade. So many people, and this is a lesson I got taught with somebody who's actually watching just now. Morning, Dave. So many people spend their whole life sitting in the shade when the sun is just a couple of steps away. And that's my lesson for today. Don't spend your whole life sitting in the shade. Just make that wee change. It's quite an adaptation. And you can be sitting in the sun for the rest of your life. How simple was that? I was literally 1 metre away from the sun. But so many people spend their whole life sitting in the shade. And I'll see you tomorrow at 7:30.